Star Trek Voyager live panel. And because it's live and not pre-recorded, we are missing one of our crew members. He's actually in space right now, floating.
He's on an away mission.
He's on an away mission, right?
Yes, he is.
He's stranded on a planet in a shuttle.
I just want to say,
I
was driving this thing. I was not in engineering or ops or anything. I had nothing to do with this meltdown, this warp core breach that has occurred.
Sensors indicate some technical difficulties on the on his system.
Yes. Yes.
Commander Tuvok, can you locate Commander Lieutenant Commander Tuvok, can you locate Commander Chakotay? Exactly what is his whereabouts?
I have the commander at his laptop. However, there seems to be an issue with his camera device.
Yes.
I'm going to attempt to communicate with him via subspace.
Yes.
There, subspace bandwidth. I should have him shortly.
I'll just keep flying. I'm just
gonna say, if we had transporters, we could have beamed him over to either your place, Tim, or Robbie's place, or mine, and it would have been.
Nice hat, by the way.
Hey, look at that! It's Star Trek. Yeah, where'd you get that hat?
They came in. They sent it from the CBS thing.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
They did say they were going to send that and
a little care package. That looks good on you, Timmy. You never wear baseball caps, actually.
No, I don't typically. No, but
you wear caps as much as well. You don't wear caps as much as Robbie wears caps. Robbie's
I don't wear them. I have them, and if it's hot outside or something in the sun or whatever for a long time, I'll wear them then. But I typically don't wear them. No, I don't.
A lot of times, I gotta say, a lot of times people wear baseball hats because they're going bald, and I am not going bald. So I'm gonna show everybody. Hold on.
Are you sure you want to do this? Oh, there you go. That's hair. That's his hair.
He's not going bald, and Robbie is right. I've got a couple of friends of mine that wear them all the time, and it's just because they're losing their hair. Yeah. It's just what it is.
I just wanted to get that out of the way. Like, I'm not wearing. I'm not going to a Picardo. I'm not becoming a holographic doctor of any kind.
You know what's incredibly frustrating about losing Commander Chakotay or not having him here in the beginning, and they're working on it right now, guys, is that we have done another virtual event with the Stars in the House charity event that we did earlier, like 3 months ago. It was on StreamYard. It's the exact same software. And so he came in on that one. But the crazy thing is he was sitting in the waiting room for so long, they didn't bring him in until later. And so Bob Picardo sort of took his place, and he didn't really have a lot of time to talk, and the fans didn't really get to hear much from Robert. So I promised him, I said, you know what, I'm gonna make sure that you're in there,
it's working great.
Yeah, it's gonna be working great.
That's working out really good.
He has made it in. He has appeared.
You're live.
Is this Back to Broadway Part 2?
Yes. We were just saying this happened before.
Yes.
You made it.
I managed to catch him and transport him to the ship. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuvok.
You're quite welcome. My pleasure.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Commander
Robert.
I'm sorry. I did my best.
Take a breath. Let's just relax. It's just a panel.
I just want to say,
I've never done one of these, so I'm really nervous. Being live is just like freaks me out, man.
As amazingly talented as Robert Beltran is as an actor and an amazing human being, his technical skills are not up to par, and it's okay. It's okay.
I have a question for Robert.
I will not take that from you, Garrett.
Wait, Robert. So when you were trying to log in, we could hear you for a while, but we couldn't get the camera going. And you said at one point, you said, I am not made for this century. The question is, what century are you made for? I want to know. Like, if you could pick what century.
Pick your favorite century.
Yeah.
Well, I would go early 19th century. Early 19th century.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Age of Enlightenment.
You had Beethoven, you had Mozart, you had all of the previous music before then. You had Shakespeare, you had some, a lot of great things were already in place. Of course, you didn't have Green Day, but, I can live with that.
Didn't have Green Day. You didn't have K-pop.
No
K-pop back then.
No.
Right.
No hip hop.
No boy bands. No hip hop.
No hip hop.
Okay, guys.
And no Star Trek.
You're right. Cancel that. Take me. Yeah.
Guys, can I do my formal introduction now that we're all here? Is that okay?
Paperwork.
Since I'm moderating you.
All
right, here we go. Here's the formal introduction.
Please, Garrett, because nobody knows who we are.
I know. That's how it goes. All right, go. So, January 16th, 1995. That is when Voyager premiered on UPN. For those of you who remember UPN, United Paramount Network. Voyager was the flagship show of UPN. And now we flash forward to 25 years, 7 months, and a few days change. And here we are at the DragonCon virtual panel. And this is the new norm where everybody is doing everything via Zoom or StreamYard and nobody's in person. But you got to go with the flow. You got to roll with the punches, and this is how it's going to be. And I'm so happy to have you three gentlemen. I mentioned in a tweet of actually an Instagram post that you are three of my favorite people. I'm so happy to have you here. So thank you very much for that. So I've duplicated every panel that I've moderated at DragonCon, and I've been the Trek Track director for DragonCon for 11 years now. And I've duplicated my wardrobe, which is usually a suit jacket and a t-shirt. But the one thing different this year is that I'm wearing shorts and sandals right now. And I'm sure my fellow compatriots are probably pantsless as well right now. Is that correct? Are you pantsless? Okay.
I am pantsless, yes.
I have shorts on.
You have shorts. Are you wearing slippers, though, Tim Russ?
No slippers. I do have them over here next to me, but I'm not wearing them.
I'm wearing slippers. Here's what I'm wearing on my feet. My slippers.
Okay. I've got some very comfy slippers that I normally wear. I just don't have them on right now. And I should, because my feet are getting chilly now.
It's hot as hell in Los Angeles right now, isn't it?
Yes, Tim? It is.
It is screaming hot, especially today. Yes.
There was a day on the set when all of us were all on the set and we were waiting for Tim Russ. He was still in his trailer to come in, and someone said, "Where's Tim? Where's Tim?" And I think it was Robbie who said he's actually trying to pick out the perfect pair of slippers to put on before he walks onto the set. Because he was all about comfort. Tim Russ was all about just being comfortable, right, Timmy?
Absolutely.
He had his own lounging chair.
Yes, did. I did have a lounge chair, and I would, after we rehearsed the scene on the bridge, especially if it was on the bridge, I would just put a pillow down behind my console and just take a nap while they were lighting for the scene. I wouldn't even go back to the trailer. I would just lay down right there and take a nap. What the hell? I mean, it takes time to go back and come, the trailer and then come back. I could get more sleep time in.
And sometimes we'd look around for Tim. People are standing up on the stage. We'd look around, and you didn't see him because he was down. It was like a beach chair.
Yeah,
it was about 8 inches off the ground, flattened out on that beach chair, and you'd be looking around like, "Where's Tim? I don't see him." And then you'd have to look down on the floor to find him because he was just spread out on the floor.
Yeah, man. I would be. I got that. I used. I bought a Chase Lounge, chair. It was actually on I did an episode of Deep Space Nine. Years before Voyager, and I was playing a Klingon or something at that time for this whole week, and it was like every day I was so tired, by day 2 or 3 because of the makeup time and getting it on and off, and then the 12-hour day. So I brought a lounge chair onto the set, a big long Chase, and I just laid down in it when I had a break. I didn't go back to the trailer. I would just lay down and take a nap there on the set because it would just give me that much more time. I was so exhausted. So. Yeah, I kind of built those in. I mean, they're more comfortable than a set chair.
Yeah,
set chairs are horrible.
Just so people know, 99.9% of all actors working on any TV or film project, they sit on a director's chair which has their name embroidered on there and the project. But Tim is the only actor in any project I've ever done to bring his own chaise lounge chair into. And this is the great thing: during the winter time, he'd sit on that chair, take a nap, and he had a portable heater that he would stick between his legs to warm his crotch area and his entire body.
It's freezing. Yeah, it's freezing freaking cold in that soundstage in the morning when you get on the set. It's cold in there.
You should know science. Heat rises when you're laying down on the floor. All the heat's up high.
I did put it below my chair after a while. I put it just under my chair, just next to it. It was just fine. I also, and because it was like, it was like 12 degrees in there when we got in the morning. It was just damn cold to begin with. And if we recall, the set chairs we did have were tall ones. And eventually I asked those guys to get me the shorter one because the shorter one's more comfortable than the tall one is.
I agree.
Yeah. So I had them bring me, and so I was the only one that had the short chair. So we'd sit around and I'm just down below everybody else, which looked ridiculous, but it was more comfy. So
I just want to make sure, like Garrett, you mentioned in this panel, we're not wearing pants. I think is what you said. The audience are not wearing pants either, right?
That's correct.
Sure.
It's only fair.
Okay, because
Only fair.
it's only fair.
Yeah, it's only fair. You're right. Thank God it's not on Zoom. We're on StreamYard because no one can just jump into this call and hack into this call and
without pants.
Yeah, without pants on or without anything on. There could be nudity involved. You don't know that. Hey, Robert, are you good? Robert's moving a lot.
There's questions over here, and I think Robert should answer all of them because of the actor's fun thing.
I'm adjusting the light in my room without getting too much light because it's so hot.
Yeah.
I've heard how I'm up in Vancouver. Garrett is in Calgary. But you guys are in LA and it's like 110 degrees or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 105 today, I think, tops. 105.
Wow.
It's screaming. It is screaming hot today.
Wow.
That's nuts. Let's start with the beginning question. Can each of you speak a little bit towards how your audition process went for your role on Star Trek Voyager, starting with Senor Beltran?
Really, you want to do that one again, Garrett?
Starting with Robbie McNeill?
That was like the Nights on Broadway or whatever. And then when I finally get on, they ask me the most interesting question ever asked. What did you like and did not like about Star Trek? I've been waiting this long for that answer, for that question.
I'm going to give you a different question just to you, if you'd like.
No, I'll tell you. It's very simple for me. I did 2 auditions, and then they sent me to the producer's audition, and I did that. And then when I got home from the audition, my agent had left a message to call, and so I called, and she said, they want you, and that was it.
Perfect. Timmy?
For myself, it was, I just went in to read once. I just ran in to read, and it was not that many people in the room. It was just one audition because prior to that, Rick Berman had spoken to me about possibly reading for that role. It was almost less than a year before that. He had mentioned it to me about possibly coming to read for this role. There was a plan to have me come in and read for it. So I think that's all that came down when that role became available and it was the right age. They just brought me in straight away, and I just read the one time, and that was it. And I was there with Roxanne. That she was reading with me that same day. Nice. And it was just one time. That was it.
Yeah, Tim, I think you and Roxanne were probably the 2 first actors cast actually on Voyager. Is that right? Yeah. Robbie?
I was in New York doing a play at Second Stage Theater, and I went on tape. Went and auditioned in New York at a casting director's office. But I had been on a Next Gen episode, so they knew me. I knew them a bit. I really wanted the job. One of my castmates in the play was also going in to read for the Doctor, and that actor's name is Reed Birney. He is one of Bob Picardo's oldest friends. They went to college together. So I remember when Reed didn't get the job, he was very disappointed, but he was happy for his friend Bob. Anyway, I went on tape, and then
There he was.
went on tape, and then they ended up flying me out to L.A. And I was on a flight with Ethan Phillips, and I was very nervous. I needed the job. I needed a good job and a good paying job pretty hard at that point in life. So I was very focused. And Ethan said in the van, when the driver picked us up from the flight, he said, I was scared of you. You seemed really angry and like you weren't talking and you didn't say anything. And I was like, whoa, whoops. I guess I wasn't pretending very well. Yeah, no, I needed a job bad, and I really wanted to get the part. So
you were in the zone.
You were in the zone, Robbie.
Yeah. And I had a beard when I auditioned. I had a beard, and I came out and I read at Paramount, and then I waited in the hall. Michael Piller came out and he said, "Hey, your reading was great, but you know, when you were on Next Gen, you didn't have a beard, and now you do, and it's hard for everybody. They really pictured you without the beard in this role. Would you be willing to shave?" And I said, sure. And he goes, "No, I mean right now. Would you shave right now and come back in?" And I was like, "Well, I don't have a razor." He said, "Come in my office. I've got a razor and everything. You shave in my office in the bathroom, and then we'll bring you back in." So that's what I did. I went in Michael Pillar's office, shaved, because I had just finished the play, shaved my beard, went back in, and then, yeah, that night I found out I got the job. So
good old Michael Pillar.
Yeah. I like Michael.
And what about you, Garrett?
Oh my God, mine was the longest audition process in the planet. I was the last person cast, because when you go into the casting director's office, you get to see all the headshots of the actors that have been already cast. And I saw Roxanne's first, then I saw Tim's, and I kept going. On my second or third audition, I kept seeing everybody else. Robbie's was up there, you know, then Robert, yours was too. And then at the fifth audition, it was between me and this kid from New York City. And I finished that audition, and I talked to the casting director, the assistant to the casting director, and she said, "Yeah, they're sending the kid from New York back to New York." I said, "Oh, so I got the role?" And she said, "Not exactly."
Oh,
I said,
man.
"What?" I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Well, they want to take 2 weeks. They want to take 2 weeks to start searching for 30-something-year-old Ensign Kims. And they're going to whittle that down to one 30-something-year-old actor, and you go up against that actor, and that'll be your final audition." And I said, "Oh my gosh." And my talent agent told me, he's like, "Just tell them to go to hell, and just you won't stand for this." And I said, No. I've already been auditioning for a month and a half now. I'm gonna go ahead and give them another 2 weeks. That's fine. And yeah, thank God I booked it. I beat out the 30-something-year-old Asian actor who I was auditioning against, but it was long. Yeah, I mean, you guys got lucky. Yours was much shorter. Here's an interesting question from Twitter. Who was your favorite guest star to work with? Guys, of all the different famous people we've had on Star Trek Voyager.
I will jump in and say Len Cariou, because he was one of the first Broadway shows I saw. I saw Sweeney Todd that Len Cariou starred in, and was blown away. And so to see Len Cariou on our set was, I was nervous, really in awe of him.
Cool. Timmy?
Yeah.
There was a couple. My favorite Martian actor, Ray Walston.
Yeah, Ray Walston. Yeah.
I really had the pleasure of I really liked working with him, and I was really excited because I grew up watching him on that show, and I really enjoyed that. And didn't we have F. Murray Abram sit in with us once on an episode? Am I right? Did we not have?
No, he was in the movie, Timmy. He was in like
I thought we had him for an episode as well. Did we not?
Did we?
Did we?
My favorite celebrity was Robert Beltran. That's what I say.
Oh my God.
Well, no, I agree with Tim. I really enjoyed working with Ray Walston. I got to do 2 episodes with him, and he was funny as hell. He had a great career. He had a great film, TV, and stage career. People don't realize that he had an amazing Broadway career. and he was just a wealth of fun and information, and spanned a whole decades worth of great work. I mean, so it was great.
And Brad Dourif also I enjoyed working with.
Brad
Dourif, he's amazing, just an amazing actor.
Great
Virginia Madsen on our show.
Virginia Madsen, terrific,
and I'd worked with Virginia a couple of other projects, like 2 or 3 projects prior to that. So it's pretty cool to have those.
Yeah, I loved. I was so jealous of Robert had all the scenes with Virginia Madsen. I was like, "Oh, Uncle Robert, you get to be with Virginia Madsen."
What about all the guest starring starlets that we had that you? Every other episode was with you in a holodeck with the new guest star. You know.
Yes, the new ingenue, as it were.
Yeah, that's true.
Never do that.
We're talking about celebrity guest stars, not
Tyrians
would never do that. Okay, all right. This everyone's watching this, going, "What the hell are these guys talking about?" This is clearly an inside joke. My favorite celebrity guest stars are probably going to be Jason Alexander, because I'm a huge Seinfeld fan, and as well as Tom Morello, the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine, because I'm a big Rage Against the Machine fan. He was also a guest star. He was kind of in the lower decks, our lower decks, and also I'm tied for favorite celebrity guest star would probably be the prince who is now the king of the country of Jordan. Yes. King Abdullah. He didn't have any lines, but he had a walk-on role, and he was wearing, Starfleet uniform, and that blew me away that we had royalty that was a fan of our show. He's a huge Star Trek fan.
Yep, so, absolutely. I remember
Garrett,
that.
You asked us about one guest. Since you're going on beyond just one, I have a whole list here. I would like to.
The Aquatarians would never do that. Okay,
what's crazy is, like, even with somebody like Jason Alexander, I remember that week that he was on the show. I didn't have that much to do. I didn't have any scenes with him, but what's bizarre is that these actors would come on, and if they're wearing heavy makeup, I would not see them the entire time they were there, because they were in makeup before I got there and then after I left. So there was we never actually saw their face. It's very bizarre.
I had nothing to do with Jason Alexander in that episode. Mm-hmm. And every time we would pass each other in the makeup, he would always look at me and like he wanted to say, "Did you bring my lunch?" I had nothing to do with him in that.
Yeah, I had no scenes with him either, not one. Yeah.
Jason Alexander's like, here's the keys to my car. Can you go ahead and valet that for me? What's your name? Roberto? What is your name?
It's Robert, but you can call me Roberto if it makes you feel better.
Yeah, we got lucky. We had a slew of celebrity guest stars in the entire 7 years.
Yeah,
so many amazing people. But you guys remember Andy Dick when he came in and played the modern doctor? Oh,
That's right.
That was really, really funny.
Hilarious.
Stuff. Oh God. All right. So here's a question from Discord from Bebop Fan 515 for Robbie and Tim. How did directing Voyager prepare you for your future directing jobs?
Oh man, just the best field work and intern work you could do on that show, because you could be involved in every aspect of production, pre-production, the actual shooting, and then post-production. It was invaluable in terms of just having a background and an opportunity, even more so the opportunity to actually implement what you had been working on and learning for that period of time. So it was great. It was invaluable to have that opportunity. I have to thank Rick to this day for having that chance to do so.
Yeah.
Robbie?
Yeah, I would say one of the best things about going to Star Trek director school was there were a number of things. One of the things was every episode on Star Trek could often be a different genre. So it wasn't like if you were, an actor on The Shield, studying directing, you would have learned one way of filming because the Shield was always shot the same way and the tone was kind of the same. But on Star Trek, we had a comedy one week, or a light comedy. Then we might have an action. We might have a murder mystery the next. So I love the fact that I could look at different genres and how directing might influence that. That was one thing I really loved. The other thing I loved about it was Rick Berman. His taste was very traditional, very old school, classic. He had some rules like the dolly shot has to come to a stop before I cut into coverage. I can't cut on a moving shot. Things that I wouldn't have known about, those kind of classic old school techniques if it wasn't for Star Trek. So it's great to learn those rules and then know how to break them. For me, I think that they're great traditions to be aware of, but you shouldn't feel bound to them if you can find a reason to tell the story differently or break the rules to make the story better. So that I liked a lot. And it was just we had a lot of good visual effects people. We were able to look at action and stunts and vis effects and all kinds of fun things. So it was a great school to go to. I love Star Trek Director School.
Thanks, Robbie. Here's a question for Beltran. Roberto, on Twitter, Terrell Kirkman asks, why didn't Chakotay push for Ensign Kim to get a promotion?
Yeah, Robert. You're so mean.
Yeah, Uncle Robert, why didn't you push for my promotion? Why?
I have to admit, I liked you on the bridge behind me.
Yeah.
You were one of the few guys I could trust that wouldn't stab me in the back. And I just loved the way you did the console and apprised the captain of what was going on, how many ships were approaching. Captain! 2 enemy ships approaching. Check that, 7 enemy ships approaching. And I would just go, that's my ensign. Let's keep him there.
I forgot about that. You used to do that a lot. You did some very good impressions, Robert, and I forgot about that one of Garrett with the Captain. 2 enemy ships approaching. What, Bill? It's good.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you so much.
Can Robert do your laugh one time? Come on, Garrett. Robert found Garrett's laugh and sort of defined the laugh that we all stole that impression, but it came from Robert. He came up with it. So go ahead.
But you remember that was early in like the first 2 or 3 seasons, I think, and then he changed it after I.
Yes, he did.
After he was confronted by it. Do you mind, Garrett?
Go for it.
It's rather cute, I think.
It's adorable.
You would say something like somebody would be teasing somebody, and then Garrett be watching, and he'd go. And then when Garrett heard it, he was like, "That's not. Wait, is that me? Yes, Garrett.
That's
Robbie. Yes, Garrett.
Yes.
All of us were like, yes, Garrett, that's you." And then he changed it. He changed it completely.
Yes, he did.
And one time I imitated his walk, and then he changed his walk.
I forgot you did.
Wait, hold on. So when I changed it, Robbie, you can do it. How did I change it?
You changed it to something because then you started stifling it, and it was like a. It was like a bumblebee sort of getting.
Just to clarify, everybody, my original laugh. No one on this show has heard my original laugh. My original laugh when I was in high school, junior high, was identical to the movie, to Tom Hulce's character in Amadeus. And when he laughs in that movie, it's this crazy melodic laugh that goes everywhere. So then I squelched that down for the beginning of Voyager. Beltran made fun of it, and I was like, ugh, and I made it even further down, and that's the bumblebee. The bumblebee.
Yeah, the bumblebee was a long time.
Came out exactly. So I just want to I want to go back to when I asked Robert about promoting, why he didn't push for my promotion, and our sign language translator. When you said console, this is console. I didn't know that, guys. Console is actually like that. Sure. It's kind of cool. I like that.
Makes perfect sense.
Robert, I would give you one more. Amber Kozak Kiernan asks, does Robert Beltran still do any theater performances?
No. No.
Ew.
I would love to. There's the thing that happened called COVID-19. Kind of screwed everybody. At this point, I would be on my third play right now this year. So I had a whole thing scheduled, and it's all going back to we're pushing it to the spring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I would really love to. I love to do theater. So yeah,
I've seen him. I've seen Robert in a couple of shows. They were good projects. I miss. Theater Row is right down the street from me on Santa Monica.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's like Tombs right now. So
I asked Tim to play King Claudius when I did Hamlet, but he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. No, at the time.
I asked Robbie. No, I didn't ask Robbie to. Did I ask you to direct, Robbie? I think I did. Or
no,
you were too busy.
I don't.
Maybe I was thinking about it. Because actually, it was Christopher Tabori.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Chris Tabori. I did Romeo and Juliet with Chris.
Yeah, and he suggested that I ask you, and I think I had heard, or you told me before I got a chance to ask you, that you were not available. You were going to be doing something. I don't know. So I probably did not ask you, and actually Chris was the one that helped me out with the Hamlet.
Chris is a wonderful director. I learned so much.
Oh, he's great.
He's a very talented director.
Here's an interesting question. If you could have done any period piece for a holodeck program, what era would you have picked? We know the early 19th century for Robert Beltran, and then what about? Just kidding, Robbie and Tim. If you were to do a holodeck program from a past era, what era would you have chosen?
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I would tend to lean towards ancient Rome. Ancient Egypt or ancient Greece. Ancient Greece. One of those two times I think would be fascinating. Maybe leaning more towards ancient Greece because those, there was a period of enlightenment. There was a period of the establishment of our first democratic system in Greece, and to meet some of the people who came up with the brilliant inventions and theories and things like that at that time, it would have been fascinating, I think, to actually do a program from that period in time. Obviously, it's not like literally going there or like going back in time and actually meeting the people and walking around and experiencing that firsthand. But it would be interesting to try to engage in that. I think that would be a cool time to do it.
Cool. Robbie?
Very cool. I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is like the Renaissance in London or something, that time. Mm-hmm. I think that would be fascinating for similar reasons. There was so much cultural change and people were, inventing language and ideas, and science was moving forward and culture. I just think it would have been an interesting time to be around. Yeah.
Robert?
Oh, I believe I said 19th century. I want to change that.
Okay.
No, I think early 19th century for me, because I would love to have been a musician or a composer preferably. There was just nothing in music has been able to surpass what they've done, what they did. Beethoven being the apex, nobody has even come close to what he achieved. So I would like to have been in that milieu of Beethoven, Schubert, several others that were just incredible performers and composers.
Yeah. I'm going to stay in the 20th century. I'm going to go with the 1950s, post World War II, when people were kind of out of that craziness. I don't know why I just said that, but I'm going to go with that. This is an interesting question on Twitter. If you guys, your characters, had a Twitter account, what would your Twitter name, your handle be? Robbie, number one pilot.
Random Flyer.
Oh God, Random Flyer.
Random Flyer. Because it's got the RDM and
the Robbie Duncan McNeill.
See, Random Flyer.
I like that.
Clever.
Yeah.
Tim, would yours be Stoic One? I don't know.
No,
what would you?
It might be if it was my characters.
Yeah, if Tuvok had a Twitter handle, what would it be?
Cold Logic.
Cold Logic. I like that. Robert Beltran?
Probably something like Flummoxed.
Flummoxed? Okay.
All right.
Well, mine's easy. Forever Ensign. That's simple enough. All right. Here's a good one from Janeway or Sophia on Discord. What was the most emotionally impactful scene that you can remember filming for Voyager?
Wow.
That's a tough one for each of your characters. Jump in.
I think for me, it was floating in space with Roxanne Dawson. And when we said, I love you, and we both thought we were dying. We thought we were a moment from death. That was great. That was a pretty emotional, because it needed to be subtle. It needed to be authentic. It was very hard to do that on a teeter-tot, a green screen seesaw and fans in your ears and all the other things. But it took a lot of imagination and commitment to go there and really, authentically be there. And I felt like we both kind of did it. I felt good about that. So,
okay,
yeah, that was a great scene.
Either Robert or Tim, who wants to jump in?
It was to me the scene I had in sickbay with Kate during Meld when I was unable to control my emotions. The ability to do so was taken away from me because I had the doctor had done something to me to change that, and I was just animal towards her and threatening her, and it was a really serious scene, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity playing this character in the whole 7 years, and except for that moment, and I was able to unload. I was threatening. I was dangerous, and would have throttled her if I was outside of the confines of that force field. So that was a very emotional moment. It's a very emotional scene. I remember her, the expression on her face as we were doing the scene, and it was pretty. It was she had a look of sheer trouble and concern that was palpable. So it was a pretty interesting moment, and one of the rare chances I had to do that. So. Okay,
Senor Beltran.
Well, there was a scene where Catherine dies. Captain Janeway dies, and I had to break down. I don't know if it was written or, but I figured I had to do this, and it was like very, very emotional, and I knew it had to be real. It had to be, couldn't fake it. And so that scene where she's dying dead in my arms, that was probably the most difficult scene to do because it was late at night. We were on our knees. I was on my knees like for hours with that sand, and we do a take, and then someone would say, "Hold on, wait, we got to do it again." And, it was like, oh man, these guys are killing me. So it was technically it was difficult and emotionally it was difficult, but I was happy with it.
Good.
Great.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it would have to be from the episode Timeless, the 100th episode. The most emotionally impactful scene would be the final scene when Ensign Kim reads a message from future Kim that Janeway gives to him. So that would probably be the one for me.
That was great. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like
really
that
good.
one. Guys, what are some of the projects? This is a question from Ryu on Discord. What are some of the projects or hobbies that you've been doing in quarantine? What's been going on?
Wow.
Timmy.
Well, Timmy.
Mostly astronomy has been a hobby of mine for 30 years, but I have been pursuing it a lot more actively in quarantine for sure. I'm doing a demo for right now for a particular type of telescope, which is an imaging telescope, and I've been doing a lot of that and posting the images on Twitter and Facebook, and it's a very, very cool piece. And so I've been doing much more of that now that I've had the time and such. And it's also summer and clear skies most of the time, so I'm able to do it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Tim Russ is an avid astronomer. He has multiple telescopes and very expensive telescopes in his arsenal. How many do you have at this point, Tim?
I think it's 6 now.
Yeah.
6 of them.
Wow.
6 telescopes.
But they're all different. They're all used for they're different sizes, and they're all used for different things. So,
yep.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, it's literally, it's 30 plus years I've been doing this. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Lifelong hobby. Robbie, what have you been doing? I know what you've been doing, but you can tell people.
Well, yeah, I mean, Garrett and I started this Delta Flyers podcast, so that's been a fun project to revisit the show and remember a lot of the stories and the episodes that we did and anecdotes, and I think it's nice to talk with you about them because you'll remember something that'll trigger a memory for me and vice versa. So we sort of, piggyback on each other's memories. Or Robert came on and talked about an episode, so his memories triggered more, and hopefully Tim can come on. And it's been really fun. It's been a fun way to kind of have a nice reunion with Star Trek. That's been fun. Let's see. I've been busy doing a lot of things. I worked on my house a lot in Atlanta and just sold that finally. Redoing that house was a real project the last 3 or 4 years. So I've felt really complete with that. Was really proud of the fixer-upper that we got and the work we did. That felt really good. I've been involved with this group called the Mankind Project. It's a men's group that does men's retreats and work. And so I've been very involved in that during this quarantine time with a lot of online kind of men's meetings and things like that. I'd suggest to any man out there listening to this, it's a great group of learning how to be more authentic and more honest and more vulnerable and have more courage and all kinds of great qualities and healthy qualities for men. So something that was not modeled great for me growing up. So it's been a great opportunity this quarantine time to kind of focus on that. So I've been doing a lot of that. So
can you repeat that again? It's called the what? The Mankind?
The Mankind Project, or MKP. It's a worldwide group. It was started by men like Robert Bly, and a poet, and it's based in Carl Jung's work and very much based in Joseph Campbell's work, The Hero's Journey. But it's a great group. It's a great, healthy, inclusive, diverse group for supporting healthy masculinity instead of toxic masculinity. And that's unfortunately, there's a lot of toxic masculinity out there, and I didn't know the difference for a long time. So it's nice to have a place to go. Anyway, Mankind Project, I would highly recommend.
Robert, other than being a dad to a lovely young lady, what have you been doing during the quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, that does take up a lot of time, especially now that she's doing homeschooling. I have been concentrating as much as I can in my off hours, even during Voyager, learning how to compose, strict classical composition.
Wow.
So I recently started learning how to write a fugue in the classical style. Very difficult. It's not only because I love music and composing is just a great creative outlet. I'm getting older and I want to keep my mind active and with as many brain cells as I can keep as I get older. So definitely my family first, and then now that I've kind of there's no football or baseball, I'm getting kind of sick of that stuff too. I think it's kind of I'm to the point, Garrett, where I think it's all rigged. Maybe I just became conscious of that late, and probably more people have been aware of that. I think it's all rigged, and so it's taken a lot of the fun for me. But no, composing has been really, really challenging and very creatively fulfilling.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to say this next question, but then I'm going to make a quick announcement, so you guys can think about this. So from Twitter, from Michael DeSanto, are there any questions that you guys are tired of hearing after 25 years? And while you're thinking about that, I just want to make a quick announcement that there are going to be autographs available if you guys are so inclined to get some autographs from these gentlemen at store.epic.photoops.com. So it's store, store.epic for epic photo, PHOTO, You can get an autograph from these gentlemen as well as a one-on-one. And I know there was a little bit of confusion about the one-on-ones beforehand. People were thinking, are these like a cameo? I go, no, this is literally your chance to talk to and say hello to any of us right after this Voyager panel. And this is a one-on-one meet and greet, a virtual meet and greet. So please click in there and jump onto one of these opportunities. That'd be wonderful. Okay, so the question remains: are there any questions that you guys are tired of hearing after 25 years?
Garrett, before you go on, I just want the people to know that if they have trouble linking to the store, let me do it. Send me your email. I'll do it for you, and I'll take care of all the technical stuff.
Robert's really good at that.
Yeah.
He was made for this century, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be on Zoom. It's not going to be on StreamYard, so you should be okay.
Much easier.
For Robert Beltran, it's going to be the switchboard with the plugs, the phone the rotary, and the thing that you have to put your ear and talk like this. It's going to be that
phone.
As long as you have one of those, you should be good to go with Robert. You'll be fine. Tech is
Most
good.
people have that, right? Should be no problem. I'm sorry, Garrett. You were saying?
Robbie wanted.
I was going the horse shack from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Questions that guys
that I'm so tired of hearing,
of answering after 25 years.
Yes. Here's the one that just drives me crazy. What's the funniest thing that ever happened on the set? There was so many funny things. There's not like one funny thing. There were 10 million funny things, and they're not funny when I try to tell them. Like, they were funny when they happened, but I can't tell them funny, so I don't know.
You cannot.
Yeah.
No.
That's the one. That's the one.
That one? Timmy, how about you? You get it?
Typically, it's what was it like playing a Vulcan with no emotions? That 8 billion times. I have to answer that question. And
what do you say? What do you say?
Well, the only thing I can say is that I studied to be an actor to learn how to show emotions, and I end up booking a role where I play a character without emotions for 7 years. That's the irony of the whole thing. That's it's much easier to do that than it is the other way around. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tim does this crazy thing. I've seen him do it at conventions. He gets on stage and he does his rendition of the song "Feelings" as Tuvok. So he starts singing "Feelings." Tim, how does it begin? How does
Hilarious, Tim. Come on.
Oh my God, that one too. I've been asked to do.
Nice job, Garrett.
Yeah, nice job, Garrett. Let's see. Feelings. Nothing more than feelings. Feelings of my love in perpetuity. No. That's basically it.
Yeah, that's enough.
It's basically dry and flat. Yes.
All right. I love it. Beltran, what question do you get asked over and over again?
I used to get this question a lot. How many shuttles has Chakotay destroyed?
How many shuttles has Chakotay destroyed?
And I'm... So I usually just made up a number. 42. Haven't you been watching it though? 42.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Mine has always been, why weren't you promoted? I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Always.
Still.
Mm-hmm. This is
that is a good question that needs to be answered.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? I think I asked the writers that question in season 5, and their response was, well, somebody's got to be the ensign. And that was it. So that's all I got. Somebody's got to be the ensign. But I don't know. I mean, Kim didn't do anything wrong per se. Kim really, he was the first person to die and come back to life on Voyager. You should get an automatic promotion just for that alone. But that never happened. That never happened.
Well, it might have had something to do with you falling in love with these holodeck pixel girls. Over and over and over and over. Ensign Kim, they're not real.
Are you making fun of Ensign Kim's inability to find love, Commander? Gosh.
Robert, I've noticed in this podcast we've been doing, going back and watching episodes, that Harry Kim had absolutely no game with the ladies. Like, every time anybody would come up and say, hey, Harry, the Delaney sisters want to hang out tonight. Oh, no, I'm busy. I've got to work here on the bridge with math and engineering problems. It's very important that I do my homework. And then he's on some planet with like the pleasure planet, and the girl's going, Harry, we're on the pleasure planet all by ourselves right now. And Harry's like, well, I need to go back and report to the captain that I discovered some science things. I'm like, Garrett, what is wrong, dude?
What voice are you doing, Robbie? That's my voice?
No, I'm just making it up.
Not even close.
You're right, though. You're right, though.
It was like he had more chances than you or me or anybody. Harry Kim had more shots, and he blew it because he was doing science and math, and he should have gotten promoted for that, for giving up that much.
I'll be honest. I think life imitates art, and because they wrote my character that way, that's almost what happened to me in real life. Like, I have a good buddy of mine, Tim Iannello is his name, and he would joke about, we would be out in a social situation when I was single, and I would just completely screw up my chances. And he would say, hey man, you just got rinsed. And rinsed was his term of like, if someone just took a bucket of water and just dumped it over my head. So he was like, you just rinsed yourself. Like that. He kept making fun of how I had no game.
I don't know. Yeah, I know you're happily married now and everything's going great, but you did all right. You did all right.
Who said I was married? What? Okay. Yeah, this is the interesting thing, guys. On Instagram, Matt Dionysus says, Voyager may legit have had the hottest male actors in its cast when compared to all the other Trek series. Well, Bakula was pretty hot too. So look at that comment.
Wow.
That's amazing.
What happened to us?
What?
Yeah. Boy,
No, I'm kidding.
We'll have to.
You're all very handsome.
We have to go back and
What
see
happened?
ourselves in the holodeck now.
What?
That
was handsome.
Us? They thought we were handsome? That's cool.
No, not handsome. Hottest male actors of any Trek series is what the comment.
I was pretty hot. I perspired. You perspired a lot, Garrett. We were hot. We were a hot cast.
The days in the desert, and particularly the days in the desert and the out in the dry lake beds in the middle of summer. Those were hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this comment is interesting. I never really thought of it but if you just break it down, if you look at Robert Beltran, he is a very attractive Latino American gentleman. If you look at Tim Russ, he is a very handsome African American gentleman. If you look at Robbie McNeill, he's a good looking white dude. So this is an interesting, that someone
and Garrett was one of the 100 most beautiful persons in the world on the planet.
He got in People magazine, 100 most beautiful people in the world. I forgot about that, Garrett.
It was 50, but thanks though.
Hey man, that's even better.
Okay.
And Picardo was the Italian stallion.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
still is.
Johnny was,
Johnny was the Talaxian Maxium. That he was.
The Talaxian Maxium.
Talaxian Maxian.
No.
Oh my God!
I'm not very good with riffing.
Hey, here's a good question. Who was a sci-fi Trek fan before Voyager?
I was Space 1999. That's my jam.
That's it? Okay.
Space 1999, yeah.
Okay. And Robert, I know your answer, probably not into sci-fi so much before Voyager. Yeah?
Well, no, I liked Fahrenheit 451. I liked The Day the Earth Stood Still. And then there was the UFO incident with I forget his name. The great black actor with the voice. He was on Star.
James Earl Jones. No.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones. Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the UFO incident, it's based on a true story of this couple that had an encounter with a UFO. It's incredible. Nobody's seen it, but it's really, really good.
It was the interracial couple from the 1960s.
Yes.
Yeah, Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah.
Fascinating story. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Wonderful movie.
Yeah, but deals with abduction. What is for me? It's been movies. I classic films. War of the Worlds. I love classic sci-fi stuff. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. War of the Worlds. Stuff like that. The Time Machine. I mean, just the older version of the Time Machine, not the new ones. Just fascinating stories. I love those.
I also loved maybe Space 1999 is sort of in this vein because I love those 80s kind of cheesy sci-fi movies like The Last Starfighter or Batteries Not Included or things like that were kind of that 80s just kind of cheesy fantasies but in a sci-fi vein and very optimistic on some level, I guess.
Yeah.
And almost within reach, like The Last Starfighter, oh, maybe that could really happen. They could come down and get the video game guy to go save the universe. That could happen.
Yeah.
And of course,
Garrett?
My favorite, I got one more. My favorite, sorry, I got to squeeze this joke in. My favorite, greatest sci-fi movie probably ever made, Masters of the Universe.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
We had forgotten about that one.
Oh,
yeah.
Starring yours truly. Yours truly.
Yeah.
What's yours, Garrett?
For me, I would have to say 1977 Star Wars was the first sci-fi that I ever saw in the theater as an 8-year-old kid, and I fell in love with sci-fi. So I really watched everything sci-fi, film or TV, from 1977 on. So I've been a huge sci-fi fan. So and that's a big misconception that a lot of fans feel that every single actor on Star Trek is a huge sci-fi fan beforehand, but really it's a smaller percentage than people think. But I was definitely a huge fan. All right, guys, we're getting really close to that hour right now, but I just want to read one thing that I saw on Instagram posts after I posted about this panel from James Rush. I want you guys to hear this. It says, James says, when myself and my wife first met, we started watching Voyager together. It became our show. It became our shared comfort blanket. If we were away from each other, we would pick an episode and watch it at the same time. We were together for 22 years. She passed last year. When she passed in the hospital, I was with her, laying in the bed with Voyager playing on the laptop. Thanks for doing this panel. It means a lot to me.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just, this comment, James Rush.
Thank you, James.
Rush.
If you're listening, if you happen to be listening, that's very meaningful and very powerful.
It's an honor.
Yeah. And this just touches upon, and we've all had situations where we've dealt with fans at conventions that have come up to us and told us, thank you so much for what you've done. You've really helped, help me see the light at the end of the tunnel. I've been going through a difficult time in my life, with this and that. And Voyager has proven over and over to be a lifesaver and something that people have really turned to in times of need. And we are in that time right now with this pandemic. So Voyager episodes and Star Trek in general are a good thing for people to watch right now during this pandemic. And I want to thank all of you, all three of you, and our interpreter for joining us at the Voyager, Star Trek Voyager DragonCon panel. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Garrett. Thanks, boys.
Thank you all the fans for watching as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.